It's a tough morning. We're going to lay out what we know at this hour. A lot of this is going to be changing throughout the day, but we'll be here with continuing coverage. This is the deadliest U.S. elementary school shooting since Sandy Hook in 2012. A teacher could wind up losing his job all because of this fight that took place in a hallway at a school. Look at these students throwing punches. Well, Nikki, right now, people really are focused on picking up the pieces, whatever they can. We are here off of Troy Street. This entire block wiped out by the tornado. 3-year-old Archie, look at how he just snatched it. He said, I got it back. 19 News is on the Browns beat. We're expecting a decision anytime on Deshaun Watson. There is talk that the players' union could reach a settlement.
Yeah.
Play something you would play like on a Sunday for a church game.
Oh.
19 News has been on the scene in Port Clinton ever since we first broke the news that police were searching an abandoned home in the neighborhood of missing teenager 14-year-old Harley Dilley. Now, some of y'all have been up for 5 hours and 39 minutes exactly because trending this morning, Beyonce releasing some new music.
I'm not gonna lie, I did.
Come look at your screen because this video is wild. You see the dust cloud there, debris flying. It's gonna loop a couple of times. This beautiful young girl is in foster care after being found at a Cleveland bus stop. There's a homicide investigation underway in the city of Akron after a teen was killed, found unresponsive, and pronounced dead on the property of the I Promise school in the parking lot. This is in Akron. Of course, this is the school founded by LeBron James. Rev up, buckle up, get ready. Hopefully you have some snacks. The Cleveland Auto Show is back in person 2022, and we are live at the IX Center this morning for a lot of the fun.
First, fair, everywhere. 19 News, your breaking news leader, starts now with a breaking news alert.
It's 9 o'clock. I'm Damon Maloney. We continue to follow the breaking news. A fiery, deadly crash in Cleveland on I-90 splits a vehicle in half. And as 19's Vic Gideon reports, flying debris hurt other drivers on the road. And new this morning, the State Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash on State Route 241 in Paint Township. Investigators say Charles Samples of Yorksville was south on 241, went on the other side of the road and hit a vehicle driven by Rand Luckner. Luckner's vehicle went into the ditch. Now, Luckner died. He was 72 years old and he lived in Hartville. His wife was hurt in this crash and went to the hospital. Officers, they ended up arresting Samples a few hours later, and they told us they believe he was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the crash. An Akron family is still desperate for justice 2 years after their 8-year-old relative was killed at a birthday party. It is a story you'll see on Just One Station. On August the 14th of 2020, Michaela Pickett, you see her right here. She went to a birthday party down the street from her house. Investigators say a group of boys showed up at that party and they started shooting. Michaela, an innocent girl, gone. The family says it's been more than a year since they have heard anything from detectives. Summit County Crime Stoppers, they have a $5,000 reward on the table for information that leads to an arrest. Well, high-powered assault rifles taken off the streets. It was all part of a big drug bust in Lorain. Here's some evidence photos, more than a pound of coke and $40,000 in cash found in a home on West 17th Street. Jose Correa Martinez, he was arrested. There's his mugshot. He's right now locked up facing several charges. The 19 troubleshooters always working to get you answers. Neighbors say that their streets are dark at night and the city isn't doing anything to resolve the issue. They haven't said anything for quite a while. Obviously, it's a major safety issue. They told our Katie Tursick it's been like this for years. She reports from East Cleveland. A judge says that he plans to unseal parts of the affidavit that was used to justify the search of former President Donald Trump's home in Florida. He's giving the Justice Department until next Thursday to suggest any redactions. Now, while that process plays out, legal experts, they are offering new insight about documents that the judge unsealed yesterday related to the former president. A simple deed, but yep, it's a good job well done. And you could officer caught on camera here. Someone snapped this photo of Officer Kyle Benary changing the tire for a 73-year-old man who lives at the Indian Hills Senior Community Center. The gentleman was truly grateful for the officer's help.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast, certified most accurate since 2004.
And let's take you outside across Cleveland on this Friday morning. We got some blue skies, a great sunrise this morning. If you joined us for our early newscast, 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Dobeck joins us now. You and the weather team looking ahead to the weekend because you guys have activated alert days both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, hard to believe with how beautiful it is outside right now that we've got a big change coming for the weekend.
And an update this morning about that wallaby spotted in the Stark County area. Look at this viewer-submitted video. The thing just hopping around there. Brewster police have not received any more calls about that sighting. The last known sighting, though, was south of Elton Street in the Village. Police ask folks not to go hunting for the wallaby. If you do happen to see it, just call Brewster Police. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson settling with the league over sexual misconduct allegations. What is next for both sides and when he can return to the field? And first day of school photos, they're a must, but are you showing too much information? On the way, some tips on how to keep your children safe by not oversharing. As the sun came up, residents started to see just how much destruction there was. You can see we have cars just destroyed here, windows broken out. You have homes that have no roofs anymore, and people starting the cleanup process that could last for weeks. Have you had a chance to let the emotions set in?
Not yet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But a little bit of time, I guess.
Yeah. Mitch Spencer still in shock over how powerful the tornado was. Thankful he was paying attention to weather reports and got to safety.
Told the girlfriend we better go. She grabs her little dog.
They were able to get into the basement, and that was a good thing because he says if you go down there, it's untouched. But you see the rest of his home destroyed.
30 seconds from the time we get to the basement, get in a corner, chimney comes off the house, and the roof goes.
When you emerged from the basement, could you believe your eyes?
Oh, no, definitely not. You know, like I said, it's something you just never, you never think about, never experience, and yeah, very bad.
Many of his neighbors off Troy Street hurting too, seeing their homes, what they worked so hard for, taken with no discretion.
Came through, and boom, gone.
But amazingly, spirits are still high. Folks asking how they can help.
First thing we've been doing this morning, going around checking on people, making sure the people's okay. That's the biggest thing. All this can be fixed.
No surprise to the mayor.
This is a tough time for our community, and we recognize that, but I've never been let down by the citizens of Dayton. Obviously, there's a lot of prayer going on in the city as well, and we appreciate that.
You're going to rebuild here?
I'm not for sure. It's insured, but we'll see.
Reporting in Dayton, Damon, Maloney, 19 News.
But I remember he called on his birthday that year and said, "Mom, I'm getting old." And I said, "James, you have a lifetime." I said, "James, you have a lifetime."
Veronica Howard's son, James, murdered at age 25.
He didn't follow the crowd. He wanted to be loved and have love among our community.
Photos of her firstborn hold greater meaning since his death. The budding artist, a junior named after his father, killed Christmas Eve 2011. Police finding his body in an abandoned home in Cleveland's Woodland Hills neighborhood. The killer hasn't been caught.
And that is what many mothers daily experience in our neighborhoods and in America, especially in brown and black communities. We are losing our children. They are being murdered. It is unacceptable.
From memorials to court cases, we often hear and see the pain from many families like James Howard's. Recent crime numbers show the number of murders in the city this year up 34% compared to the same time period a year ago. And felonious assaults, they are also up double digits.
Its mission is to save lives, solve crimes, and take violent offenders off the streets.
In late July, U.S. Attorney General William Barr said Operation Legend was expanding to Cleveland. More than 25 federal agents from the FBI, ATF, DEA, and U.S. Marshals are here permanently assigned for at least the next several years, working with local police. And you feel like bringing these additional resources to the city of Cleveland is going to make a difference in some way?
Bringing in Operation Legend, to me, in my perspective, says that not only will the communities get better, but our policing will be better as well.
Critics, they think otherwise, worried that citizens' rights may be trampled on by heavy-handed police tactics. Several groups, including Black Lives Matter Cleveland and Cleveland Peace Action, writing their concerns in this petition to council members, saying the city is already over-policed and that, quote, the most violent and disproportionate impact on black and brown people comes from policing. No doubt about it, the federal operation coming when tensions between communities and police locally and nationally are at an all-time high. High-profile cases amplifying what many civil rights organizations say show systemic racism in our country's policing and judicial systems.
We want, a police presence in our community. We want the help, but we also want a justice process that heals.
Gregory Terrell leads the organization Society for Nonviolent Change. He told me the Operation Legend resources are welcomed, but must be matched with other investments to end a cycle of crime.
If resources are going to come in, then, you don't want to turn it down. Consequently, the key is how do we formulate that? How do you format? And in a community policing construct.
Khalid Samad, co-founder of Peace in the Hood, echoing Gregory. He says community organizations like theirs are often overlooked and don't receive ample funding, despite their ability to thwart problems and transform lives. Khalid says people of the community are uniquely able to connect with residents.
The change has to come within the hearts and the minds of the people.
Peace in the Hood, like Society for Nonviolent Change, doing intervention work on the streets, de-escalating issues before they result in shootings and murders, and working with youth, often through the arts, to show them the right path.
It says, lead like Harriet, dream like Martin, rise like Maya.
Yeah.
This mural, done by a man who was once headed nowhere good.
Now he's evolved, and this is how he makes his living.
Important for kids to see this.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta see
definitely.
it.
Yeah. You can't be what you can't see.
Veronica can only dream of what her son would have accomplished in his life.
I do not want to see another mother go through that notification day, another visual where anyone else's child is taken.
She wants results, dropping crime rates so another family isn't left with just photos to help them remember their loved one.
And how do we get that? We bring in reinforcements.
Reporting in Cleveland, Damon, Maloney, 19 News. Kofi Boakye is writing his story note by note. The Cleveland Orchestra allowing us inside the Chamber Hall at Severance Music Center to see and hear him in his realm.
Play something you would play like on a Sunday for a church game.
Oh. Ah. Live music is back in New York, and I'm ready to put on a show.
He's 22 from Akron, and Wednesday night he's under the spotlights in Harlem, New York, performing for the amateur night at the Apollo competition. He's been on this stage before.
Out of mind. Your love.
People we now know as legends James Brown, Michael Jackson, and Stevie Wonder. Launching careers by captivating audiences from the world-famous Apollo Theater.
To embody that essence that they created all those years ago, I mean, that right there is the moment that is breathtaking.
This is the return of Amateur Night, which has been sidelined by COVID. Kofi's in pursuit of a $20,000 grand prize. How he'd spend it a bit later.
How does music impact you when you're on the keys? Where are you mentally?
I'm usually at my highest level of confidence. Nobody can stop me when I'm in that moment, And I always think that when you're in a position where you're able to love what you do, show that you love what you do, and connect to others.
That confidence hasn't always been. Kofi, raised by a single mother, grew up in public housing, no stranger to challenges, but determined to make life work in his favor.
Music was that thing that gravitated toward me. I remember the first class, I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I was like, man, this is not for me. But the teacher pulled me aside, looked at my hands, and said, no, I see something in you. I'd never heard those words before, and that's how music changed my life.
19 News meeting Kofi years ago as his journey was hitting a new level.
I'm grateful to God that he has been able to bless me with this gift of music.
Many accolades would follow, including youngest African-American pianist to ever be accepted into the University of Akron School of Music's jazz program. National awards, one from President Obama, and a regional Emmy nomination for a documentary about his life.
My mom always told us, hey, if you work hard, you can see better, you can do better.
His skills, smarts, and determination got him accepted into Berklee College of Music in Boston. Kofi crowdfunded to supplement a partial scholarship so he could finish his first year of classes. But the unforeseen COVID-19 pandemic forced a pause on his education.
Currently, right now, I'm trying to re-fundraise money to get back to Berkeley. Education is key and it's important, so $20,000 is a grand prize. I think that can help.
Somebody sees you performing on stage, they hear you speak. What do you want them to walk away with?
I hope that someone walks away feeling inspired by what I do.
Kofi's story nowhere near finished. Too many notes still to play. Reporting in Cleveland, Damon, Maloney, 19 News.